The story begins with an elderly woman named Branna watching the news on her TV. Suddenly, her dog starts barking outside. She goes to bring the dog back in but forgets to close the door behind her. Taking advantage of this, a masked man sneaks into her house. But before he can cause any harm, Branna quickly uses an electric shock device to knock him unconscious. When the man regains consciousness, he finds himself tied up. Branna notices a tattoo on his arm, one linked to a Nazi death camp. She starts calling the police, but the man interrupts, saying, "I know who you really are. Your name isn't Anna Marshall, it's Branna Brodskaya." Stunned but maintaining her composure, Branna asks him, "What do you want from me?" The man replies, "I want to know the truth, the real history. I want the story of the Soviet soldier group, the one that included a female intelligence officer. They discovered something critical in the Chancellor's bunker, something they were ordered to take to Moscow. But the entire group was wiped out, except for that one female soldier. Maybe you found evidence that Hitler survived, or perhaps you know where he went." Hearing this, Branna starts laughing hysterically. Then, in an unexpected move, she uses a drug on him that paralyzes his body completely. Now, he can only listen to her what she has to say. Branna begins to tell her story, taking us back to the crumbling city of Berlin in 1945. The city, once a symbol of power, now lies in ruins, shattered by the devastation of World War II. Amid this chaos, we see Branna standing inside a bunker beside a mysterious coffin. Branna was part of a Soviet group on a highly critical mission. Soviet soldiers are carefully loading a dead body into a truck when Colonel arrives and issues a crucial order. "We won't transport this body by plane. We'll transport it on foot. This operation must remain a secret." The man in this coffin is like a ticking time bomb. One wrong move and he could explode. Team's first challenge was escaping Berlin safely, as some German soldiers were still resisting surrender. Before nightfall, the group takes shelter in a forest. Following protocol, the captain orders them to bury the coffin. This routine must be repeated every night to protect the contents, even in case of an attack. As the group settles down for the night, Branna and a soldier named Mikhail engage in conversation. Curious, Branna asks, "Why does everyone call you Thor?" Mikhail chuckles and responds, "Because I once killed some SS officers with a hammer. That's how I earned the name." The next morning, the group digs up the coffin again and loads it back onto the truck. They set off, making steady progress until they reach the Poland border. Here, the truck gets stuck in the mud. Everyone works together to push it free. As they struggle, Mikhail notices a dead body nearby, likely a German soldier, but the group ignores it and continues their journey. Branna remarks, "If we keep moving, we'll reach the outskirts of Poznan before nightfall. We'll have plenty of time to catch the last train from there." But the captain disagrees, he says firmly. "Traveling at night isn't safe. We should set up camp here and wait until morning." Suddenly, chaos erupts as a sniper's bullet hits the truck driver and he dies instantly. The soldiers immediately spring into action, taking defensive positions and returning fire. But the sniper remains hidden deep within the forest, making him nearly impossible to spot. Without hesitation, Mikhail ventures into the woods, tracking the sniper down. After a tense confrontation, he kills the sniper and brings his body back to the group. Branna inspects the sniper's rifle and notices a distinct emblem of the werewolf on it. Alarmed, Mikhail warns, "This is bad news. We need to leave immediately." He explains that the werewolves are Hitler's elite soldiers who hide in the forests, ruthless fighters known for their animalistic tactics. They don't follow conventional warfare tactics. They are predators, pure and simple. Despite the warning, the captain insists on staying and orders the team to bury the sniper's body. Branna argues, "There could be more werewolves nearby. It's not safe to stop here," but the captain dismisses her concerns, commanding everyone to set up tents for the night. Reluctantly, the soldiers once again bury the coffin to keep it hidden. Later, the captain decides to venture into a nearby village to search for food. Branna tries to stop him, cautioning, "It's too dangerous to go out there. There's still danger everywhere. We need to stay together and protect the coffin." But the captain ignores her warning and leaves with 3 soldiers. After traveling some distance, they come across a bar owned by a lone woman. When the captain approaches, the woman tells him, "The bar is closed," but he disregards her and enters anyway. Meanwhile, Branna grows increasingly anxious about the mission's safety. She worries that the captain's reckless behavior might cause trouble and decides to go after him to bring him back. At the bar, the captain and his men sit drinking, seemingly unconcerned about their surroundings. The captain notices the bar's female owner and, seeing her alone, begins to harass her. Suddenly, the woman spots a shadowy figure outside the window. It's a werewolf. Panicking, she tries to escape, but the captain grabs her, attempting to assault her. Just as things escalate, Branna arrives and interrupts the chaos. Just then, a local man appears, claiming, "I'm a Polish and I live nearby." Before they can process what's happening, a loud noise startles them. Something crashes and a thick smoke begins to fill the bar. The group realizes that 2 of their soldiers have already been killed. One surviving soldier explains, "Someone released toxic smoke in here." The local man adds grimly, "This is a werewolf tactic. They use this kind of smoke to disorient their targets, making them see hallucinations and lose their grip on reality." Branna suddenly remembers that Mikhail and the other soldiers are still alone in the forest. If the werewolves reach them, the entire operation could fall apart. Meanwhile, Mikhail, who is guarding the coffin with 2 other soldiers, notices smoke spreading around their position. Realizing the danger, he quickly alerts his men, but the poisonous smoke begins to take effect, clouding their minds and making them see disturbing hallucinations. Amid the chaos, a masked figure emerges and fires at Mikhail. He narrowly escapes, running for his life, while the enemy soldiers kill one of his comrades. Moments later, Branna and the remaining soldiers arrive, taking down one of the werewolves with a precise shot. One soldier informs the group, "They've taken our truck." Captain, enraged, declares, "We can't carry this coffin to Poznan on foot. We have to stay and fight." Branna firmly counters, "We've already lost 3 men. We're not here to fight, we're here to protect this coffin." The local man steps in and says, "I know of a safe place nearby. You can hide there." As the group moves out, German soldiers arrive at the place, searching for the coffin. Their leader, determined to retrieve it, declares, "They're hiding nearby. Find them at all costs." Meanwhile, we see Mikhail, who has gotten separated from his group and is wandering aimlessly through the forest. Suddenly, he unexpectedly encounters the woman from the bar. She's terrified, running away to escape the Russian soldiers. Mikhail approaches her cautiously, trying to reassure her, saying, "I won't hurt you," but the woman doesn't believe him. She suddenly pulls out a knife and stabs him in the leg. Despite the pain, Mikhail manages to subdue her. He tells her firmly, "You need to trust me. I'm looking for my team. If you help me get to the village, I'll let you go." Reluctantly, the woman agrees to guide him. Elsewhere, Branna and the rest of the group finally reach a safe house with the coffin. But their relief is short-lived when the woman who owns the house angrily confronts them. "Get that corpse out of here," she yells. With no other option, Branna decides to reveal the truth. She opens the coffin, shocking everyone as they see Adolf Hitler's corpse inside. The soldiers are stunned. Only Branna and the captain knew the true contents of the coffin. Branna explains, "Hitler shot himself in his bunker, but many still refuse to believe he's dead, and this mission is about proving the truth." As the tension rises, the local man, unable to contain his fury, he starts hitting Hitler's corpse. Branna pulls him back, warning, "You can't do that. We need to present this body intact to Stalin." The group quickly regains composure and moves the body to a hidden storage room, knowing the dangers surrounding them are far from over. Meanwhile, Mikhail and the woman are on their way to the village when she points in the direction they need to go. But before they can move further, German soldiers ambush them, and the woman is shot. Mikhail tries to escape, but 2 German soldiers capture him before he can flee. Back at the safe house, the local man, whose name is Lukash, confides in Branna. He reveals his tragic past. "I'm a Polish, but I had no choice but to fight for the Germans. They would have sent my family to the camps if I didn't. When I returned home after the war, I found out they had betrayed me. They sent my wife to the camp. I searched for her, but she was already gone." Meanwhile, the 2 soldiers bring Mikhail before a German officer, who interrogates him about the body. Mikhail refuses to give any information, even under brutal torture. Despite the pain, he stays silent. Just then, some soldiers arrive, reporting that they've located the rest of the group's whereabouts. Afterward, the Germans take Mikhail to a location near the safe house, where the German officer offers them a deal. He says, "If you want to save your soldier, you can, but in exchange, I want the dead body." Branna knows how critical this body is to the Germans. She understands the stakes and realizes that they can't afford to give in. When no response comes from the group, the officer stabs Mikhail in the stomach with a knife. Without hesitation, Branna shoots at him, but the bullet touches his neck. Seizing the opportunity, Mikhail runs into the forest. Gunfire erupts from both sides, but Branna's captain surrenders to the Germans, offering to tell them about the body in exchange for his life. The German officer sends one of his men to the shed, but Branna shoots him dead. The Germans now believe the body is buried in the bunker, so they send their soldiers to retrieve it. Just as they approach the bunker, Mikhail throws a bomb which explodes, killing the Russian captain who had surrendered. Amid the ongoing gunfire, the Germans begin to overpower them. They try to set fire to the house where the Russian soldiers are hiding. Meanwhile, Mikhail has reunited with his comrades. Branna notices that the body they had hidden in the bunker, the Germans have taken the body from there. She tries desperately to stop them, but it's too late. The failure hits her hard, and she feels the weight of defeat. As she deals with her frustration, Branna discovers the body of the woman from the bar, who had been killed by German gunfire the previous night. Mikhail then reveals that he overheard the Germans talking. They are taking the body to a church. Meanwhile, the Germans are seen where the officer conducts an autopsy on Hitler's body to prove that it isn't Hitler, but a fake. One soldier argues that this isn't true, but the officer responds that people must not believe that the ideology they fought for has died. They will only believe what they are shown. The officer records everything on camera and tries to prove that their leader is still alive, and that the body belongs to an imposter. Just then, Russian soldiers release poisonous gas inside the church. As the fumes fill the air, everyone begins to hallucinate and lose their clarity. The Russians take advantage of this and launch an attack, shooting several German soldiers. In the chaos, Branna gets shot in the leg and other soldiers are injured as well. One German soldier attempts to lock the church doors and set them on fire, but the local Polish man shoots him, and the soldier's body begins to burn. Inside the church, the German officer shoots at Mikhail. Before Branna can react, her ammunition runs out and she becomes trapped inside with an injured soldier. The German officer moves toward Branna, and just as he's about to shoot her, the injured soldier pushes her out of the window, sacrificing himself by taking the bullet intended for her. In the meantime, Mikhail, with Hitler's body, has hidden himself in a bunker, which is impossible to open from the outside. Mikhail then destroys the video reel that falsely claimed Hitler's death. The officer, enraged, begins banging his head in frustration, but it's too late. At this point, the local Polish man seals the windows and doors of the church, setting the entire building on fire. Mikhail, with Hitler's body, becomes a martyr, along with all the German soldiers who burn to ashes in the inferno. Branna is the only one left alive from her group. After the fire is extinguished, she goes to the same spot where the charred bodies lay. The story then returns to where it all began. Branna reflects that after the war ended, she went back to Moscow, but by then, the dream of saving the nation was long gone. Stalin's lies were exposed, which was a humiliating revelation. As a result, they imprisoned her in a Siberian jail and erased all evidence. After spending 6 years in prison, Branna returned to Poland, where she met Lukasz, who had stood by her during the toughest times. But an unknown person took Lukasz's life. As Branna notices a locket around the man's neck, she recognizes it as Lukasz's, realizing that this was the man who had killed him. She says, "Those who lose never write history. It is written by the survivors." Then she drugs the man and slowly he begins to die. Before his final breath, Branna shows him a box containing Hitler's bone fragments, a gift sent by Lukasz. As the man breathes his last, Branna remains engulfed in sorrow. And the story ends with her in mourning. So friends, hope you liked it. And be sure to share your thoughts about the story in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching up to this point. And if you really enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and share this video, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon. See you in the next video. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Goodbye for now.